Well, welcome everyone to a session of the tutorial session of LB251 on the part of administrative law. And today we are going to do the question 1 of the past exam based on last year examination. Here's the fact. In question 1, at the beginning of each year, the state university will have a rub-non ceremonies, and as a third-year student at the university that holds annual rub-non ceremony want to organize it. However, due to the limited space, she planned to hold the ceremony in adjacent public park. And she believed that the ceremony could be considered a public assembly, so the notice was sent, and the head of the police responds by sending a letter summarizing the applicable law. So now, the first step here, and maybe it is a little bit technical that may make you know easier how to answer on what to answer or what not related to the question is to at least find the suspect point of which one is a potential point to be an administrative act here. Maybe the administrative act have 5 elements. However, to briefly skim and scan on what is administrative act, you may just only consider the characteristic of whether it is the act by public administration in the way of exercising the law enforcement or not, and whether it have a legal effect or not. Here, the police head respond by sending a letter summarizing the applicable law. Even the police is the public authorities. We don't know on whether respond by sending a letter summarizing the applicable law is exercise of law enforcement or not, because it's also covered the part of application of the law as well. However, it can see that only letter of summarizing of the applicable law is not the act that have direct external legal effect. So in this case, it may be administrative act, but no, it is not. And on the day of the ceremony, there's 300 freshmen, and A give the order for them to pick random plants, leaf branch, and eat it, and so on. When students start vomiting, the fact is that she also recording and plan to upload the recording to her online video and social media channel, which she uploads video on a regular basis. And when there's something occur, for example, when a student start injury, kind of that, and it's just about to take a close-up shot here. Now, a competent official arrives at the scene and orders her to immediately end the ceremony and to stop recording. This one is the first administrative act. Then the official also takes her smartphone delete or recording. This one is the second administrative act. And last one, the official arrests A to ascertain her identity and address. This is the third administrative act we should consider it here. A believes that officials' actions are unlawful, which means A believes that the admin act of 1, 2, 3 is unlawful. Now, we already know that we have 3 administrative acts. Next is to find the applicable law here. That Ajahn gave it to us. I already created draft to tell you guys. First one, I would like to start with the film and video part first. It can be seen that there's a legal basis for officials here. So, the official's action of 1 and 2 in this case start with the first one, that the official sees the video. It will be lawful if the condition in section 61, subparagraph 3 is satisfied, and the official had taken decision in accordance with the legal consequence. If you look at the law, the condition is that there's a ground to suspect that the provision in Film and Video Act is violated. In this case, Ajahn provided section 23 for us, which means violation means A. Produce film contrary to public order and good morals and affect the security or dignity of Thailand. But as we see here, the condition is only applied to the film. So now we have to consider whether the recording that A recorded is film or video. And we should consider it by the provided provision of section 4. Film means the recording of visual image, blah 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 here. And video means the recording of visual image, same meaning as film, but it will be in the form of games, karaoke, with illustration or other form as specified in the ministerial regulation here. And film shall not include video. Here in the recording video, in the in the recording, it can be considered that it is a video because of two reasons. First one, because of that's the fact that A upload videos on regular basis here. So we may say that this video by the fact given. And it's also the mass game because there's a phrase that A said that, oh, the only the strong can survive. So it is not a film. When it is not a film here, the condition is not satisfied. End of the story here because of the first action is unlawful administrative act. When we want to say that it is administrative act, we may have to explain 5 elements of the act by public authority in exercise of public administration that regulates concrete case which direct external legal effect here. Now, move to the second action of the officials here. The action that official order the stop of recording is lawful if the condition in section 61 subparagraph 2 is satisfied and the official had taken measure in accordance with the legal consequence. By taking measure, I mean taking decision. Condition here is the film must violate section 23 paragraph 1. If you look at the section, the provision of section 61 paragraph 2, that is the condition. However, we already analyzed that it is not film, therefore end of the story here as well, that the action that the authority order the stop of recording is unlawful administrative act. However, it is not the end because if you just stop here, your score will be significantly deducted. You have to do the hypothetical assessment to govern all the topics should be addressed in the exam here. So let's assume that the conditions in both sections are satisfied. So the consequence of the first action is that the official have power to seize. By the term of official have power to is mean they have power but they may use it or they may not use it. This is about discretion. And for the action number 2 as well, the consequence is officials have power to order to stop the film production, which is also discretion. When we talk about discretion here, we have to talk about the errors to link to the constitutional right. Because of there is 3 types of errors of discretion. First one is misuse. The misuse of discretion is something that related to violation of individual right or the authority based their decision on irrelevant argument. Here it is the violation of individual right. You may explain non-use and excessive use, but that's not the case in this examination. I mean in this question. Then we already know that it is violation of individual right. What we have to follow next is what is the step to analyze the violation of the individual right. First one, the scope of protection. Here it is section 34 of Constitution about the freedom of expression here. There's a restriction which is action by state that make the exercise of right or freedom more difficult or merely impossible or impossible. In this case, there is an order to stop, there's a cease and desist. Obviously, there's a restriction here. And the last one is the justification, which have a lot of substeps here. The justification here, first one, they must have legal basis. In this case, we already discussed that the legal basis of authority is section 61 subparagraph 2 and section 61 subparagraph 3. So we may mention briefly here or maybe elaborate a little bit from what we already discussed. Then, it must not have any violation of human dignity, and of course in this case, obviously there's no violation of human dignity by the act of authority. And the last one is proportionality. To analyze proportionality, there are 4 substeps. First one, consider the purpose. The purpose must be a proper purpose. In this case, the purpose of the authority action may be to protect the public order, which we should define the term here of the absence of harm to protected interested in maybe the coexistence in society, kind of that, and good morals, which is the norm and standard of practice in one society. We may elaborate more that is protect public order and good moral, also protect the freshman, and to prohibit that video to be widespread. Or maybe you can support your argument by, oh, this video is very against public order and good morals, something that is not in accordance to the norm of public society, so it should not be widespread. Then, it should have the ability or rational connection to the aim or to the purpose. So it means that the taken measure here should be able to achieve the purpose number 1 here. and the recording contains the action that is against public order and good morals. If you say that it is to protect from uploading or to make it widespread, maybe here we may say that, well, the measure of ceasing or maybe deleting it or and order the prohibition of the filmmaking here is a means that can link to that outcome. So it is so the rational connection here is satisfied. Next, it must be necessary. By necessary, you may say that okay, there's no less intrusive way to do it, because of if the authority did not cease, did not uh, order the stop of film, or maybe did not delete it. Here they might have no less intrusive way to achieve the proper purpose, which the ability here. And the last one, the proportionality in narrow sense. This one is about weighting and balancing the damage occurred to individual interests and another individual interest, or maybe the damage to individual interest and benefit to public interest here. And in this case, it is the freedom of expression of A versus public order and good morals protected in the proper purpose here. So the possible outcome may be that the administrative action number 1 and number 2 are now lawful. However, it's not the end of story, because we still have the third administrative action of arresting A. Here, also the same step. It's very similar. You have to find a relevant section. And in this part, I choose section 50 of the Act of Maintenance and Cleanliness that Ajahn provided for us. So the arrest is lawful if the condition in that section satisfy and official take the decision according to the legal consequence. The condition here is there's a violation of this act or ground to suspect that there's violation. And the section provided here is section 27, that no one shall cut down trees or cut or pick or take other action to cause damage or likely to cause damage to trees or leaf, flower, fruits, or any part of trees that being grown or naturally grown in a public place. So the first condition is must occur in public place, and public place meaning is in section 4. And because of the rub nong ceremony hold in public space or public park here, so it is the first condition of public place is satisfied. Now, the condition of pig that cause damage, something like that, we may determine it from order of A, that order the fresh man to pick random plant, branch or leaves and eat them, that we may say that, oh, it caused damage, because by meaning of pick random plant, it never mean that just pick it from the ground, but maybe pick up from the soil, kind of that. So if there's damage occur here, the consequence is that officials have power to arrest the violator or person suspect to commit, along with the vehicle, equipment, things used in commitment. And this one related to discretion again, because the official shall have power to. So the errors that might occur here, the same: misuse, non-use, excessive use, about violation of individual right, with the scope of protection in this case is in section 28 of the Constitution, the right to not be arrested, kind of that. So you might elaborate more in detail that the step I already provided. And the possible result here may be that the arrest is lawful or maybe unlawful, is related to your justification or to your reasons here.